This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
All right, how you guys doing? Come on in, sit down, relax. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway to the minds, the souls, the hearts, and lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I am one of the Irish. I am the luck of the Irish. Not on my flight, though. Didn't get too lucky on that flight. I'm a flightsman. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and I'm coming to you live from my studio apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Before I go any further, this is a fan-supported, listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. I give it to you every single Thursday. ColtCabana.com, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you can support, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend, tweet it out, Facebook it out. Best way that you can support, though, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. T-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads, little micro brawlers, and much more. That's ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. ProWrestlingTees.com was an online store just like mine, and now it has turned into a regular store, which is pretty mind-blowing. The regular store has opened in Chicago on Damon. You can go and just pick up some T-shirts. It's become a regular thing. I forgot what the actual name is. I have a business degree. I have a fucking business degree, and I don't even know what it's called, like Brooks and Mortar. A Brooks and Mortar store. Something like that. There's words for these things. A 4-year bachelor's in business, and I don't know the words. I just know how to do the business. I just know how to sell the T-shirts. I know how to sell the DVDs. The whole Bullet Club will be there Monday doing pictures and autographs and that stuff. And I'll be there hanging out too. I think the news is coming. I'm doing a bunch of news stuff. So come say hi, buy a T-shirt, take a picture. I'll be roaming around. There is a door that says you can't enter unless you're staff or Colt Cabana. So, and don't you dare think about going through that door. All right. As long as we've made that clear. Also, make it a destination now. Chicago's a destination for wrestling fans. You got to go to Pro Wrestling Tees, the store, and check it out. And that's a statement made to many people outside of the United States of America. And one person outside of the United States of America is my guest this week, Franklin T. Mobster. Yes, or as you would know him, Franky the Mobster, Franky TM. And this is an interesting look inside the mind of a professional wrestler who's been doing it a long time. 1997 he debuted. And I love having the guys from the different areas or the different quote-unquote territories from around the world. And self-admittedly for him, you know, sometimes I'll have these people on who everybody in the world knows. And for him, he's like, nobody knows who I am. And that's not true. A lot of people know who he is. I know who he is. I want him on my show. But everybody in Montreal knows who Franky the Mobster is. He's been around a long time. And, you know, a lot of my generation and the generation younger, they get a lot of flack or slack about being video game boys and being nerds and not being the way that wrestlers should be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I champion that, and we are who we are, and that's just what it is. But Franky is one of these guys who is a throwback, you know, a throwback to a different generation when men were men, and this is how it should be, and this is how workers work, and these are who they are. And I'm not saying that he disagrees with the statements, but you just know you could easily pluck Franky the Mobster and throw him in a 1970s ring in Cobo Hall with the Sheik and Bobo, and he would be just fine. He would survive very well. And here we talk about Franky and his acting, too. And after we did it, I looked up his IMDb, and I didn't even realize I was going to see Bad Santa 2. It's on my Netflix queue. I keep on meaning to look at it, but I just don't for some reason. And he's in that. He's in Bad Santa 2. And I guess, I forgot to ask, but someone said he's got a big role in another real big movie coming out. A little bigger than Bad Santa 2, although that's nothing to laugh at. I'd take a Bad Santa 2 any day of the week. And I myself, it's interesting for me. I don't know what to do. I'm at this point, right? Like, I turned down an audition for something with The Onion. I turned down an audition for Chicago Med. And I don't want to, but my dates are all booked up and I'm doing wrestling shows, and it's just like, it wouldn't be able to happen. Like, people have bought plane tickets, and I'm still weird in where, like, I'm a big believer in my word is my word. And in this world of wrestling and independent wrestling, so many people just flake for so many different reasons. I don't know why it is that for some reason, I'm like, no, I took this booking for a shitty amount of money, but this is my booking, and I've taken my booking, and I can't take an NBC show right now because I have to go to Vincennes, Indiana, which is always my go-to because I did a show in Vincennes, Indiana once with Jimmy Jacobs and Shark Boy in 2004, and it was really fun, but it was really like hey, this is independent wrestling of all the shows. But I do believe this attitude has helped me with my longevity on the independent wrestling career. Remember, I've made a living, a legit living since 2003 as an independent wrestler, which is not something a lot of people can say. Oh, yes, there were 2 years in there where I got a paycheck, but I don't even think that counts. But I say I'm going to be there. I will be there. Promoters can rely on me. I make sure and try my best and try my hardest to get to my show. My word is my bond, gold bond. I'm there. And sometimes you just got to turn down stuff because you took stuff. And, I mean, that could have happened this week. I went to Dublin, Ireland. I was supposed to leave O'Hare, Chicago at 5:50 p.m. A bunch of shit went down with the plane. We didn't end up leaving till 3:30 a.m. out of Newark. It was supposed to be a nonstop Chicago to Dublin. They flew us to Newark because fuck if I know. And we got there. But the second I knew something was wrong, I was on the phone. I was trying to see what else I could get. If I can get a flight out of London. I was seeing every other option because someone bought a ticket, Over the Top Wrestling in this case, for me to come to Ireland. And I don't want to fuck them over. I don't want to fuck the fans over. And luckily, it didn't happen. You know, I got into Ireland around 4 o'clock, went right to the show. Drove to Belfast the next day, drove home, woke up, back to Chicago. In a perfect world, you know, I'd be there for a week. I'd see all the sights of Dublin, but this world isn't perfect. Also, in a perfect world, I would think to myself that, oh yeah, everything you do goes on the internet. And I did a thing in Belfast with the session moth, Martina, who's a very funny character. Grado said she's taking all his bookings. That's a quote. Sorry, Grado. He said it as a joke, though. It was very funny. Where she won, she celebrated, she jumped on me, and then I was like in the moment practicing the act of sexual encounter in the middle of the ring because I just thought it would be funny. And that's her character. She tried to have sex with me, so we had, okay, you get it, right? And then I just forget the next day. Of course, my Twitter handle would be bombarded with GIFs of me performing this act in the middle of the ring. Not just a GIF, but a gift. Thank you, Internet. I appreciate it. And thank you, Stamps.com, for sponsoring the Song of the Week. Buy your stamps online. That's what I'm telling you. Print them out at home. Don't go to the post office. Just sit at home, print out your postage, and stop doing more than you have to. It's a hassle. The lines are long. Stop. Please stop. Also, Stamps.com, it doesn't close ever because it's at your home. Stamps.com lets you buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail using your own computer and printer. Not sure what class the mail is? No problem. Stamps.com will send you a free digital scale. They'll even get you discounts you can't get at the post office. I use Stamps.com. I used it far before they even became a sponsor. I first heard of them on WTF, and I was just sick of being a slave to the post office. And now, my life, it's so much easier. And right now, you can have an easy life with the Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus postage and that digital scale without long-term commitments. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Colt. That's Stamps.com. Enter Colt. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Sean O'Hara sent me a song that he wrote for the Song of the Week. It's called Salmon Blazer. I'm assuming it's about Vince McMahon, right? I could be way off. Maybe I'm way off. I don't know. It's by Jerry and the Lawlers. Enjoy it, and we'll be back with Franky the Mobster.
Just when pain turned into pleasure, that's when oh yes, that is when I donned that salmon blazer. Told my daughter as she was sitting alone, dry them tears, girl, oh, dry them eyes, 'cause daddy's coming home. Done a lot of things in my career between these 3 old ropes. Been the world's strongest man, but I always had world title hopes. Here comes John now to raise up my hand. And here it comes now, here it is, my final stand. My final stand. A bunch of puppets, y'all a crazy, stupid bunch of puppets. So what did you think now that I was gonna go? A lot in the tank, oh, I got more left to go. A small town boy from Silsbee, Texas, Can't you even read what my shirt says? The Hall of Pain, John, that's where you're gonna go. The Hall of Pain, oh, I got more left to go. The Hall of Pain, John, I got more left to go. I got a lot in the tank.
We'll give it a start. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And tell me what's all this finger stuff going on here?
The finger stuff, you know what? It's a finger fetish that I have. And most of the ladies do like it because given all the products that I've taken in my life, even with the pills, my biscuit sometimes doesn't really work. So they want something stiff and hard. And if I finger a lady with those big-ass rings, well, they feel like they've been, violated by RoboCop or something. And
This is nothing like I've ever seen before. It's essentially brass knuckles, but it's not. They're all individual rings.
They're just big-ass rings. Just big-ass rings.
Of skulls and death. And is this what represents you and what you represent?
I don't believe I do. I believe I represent joy and hope and happiness and love. This is all for show.
Yeah.
Basically, this is all for show. I don't wear them in everyday life. I just started a new job in real life, and the real life thing that some of us do have to actually tend to.
You don't seem happy about it.
Man's got to make a living, and I'm not making a living with wrestling, so I sell cars. I just started yesterday.
Just started yesterday.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, you're probably on.
I will have sold a bunch of cars. I work for Ford, and I sell new car, Ford and Lincoln. So anybody listening to this show wants a car, I see you buying a Ford car or a Lincoln car, and it's not bought from me. Well, I'm going to fucking kill you.
No, you're not going to be happy. So, hold on. I like the idea that you say that you're wearing this stuff for show. There's that, pickup artist stuff where, I think it's called peacocking. Is that, in your head what's going on right now?
What do you mean peacocking? I don't know that word. I'm fucking French, man.
It's, you wear all this exuberant stuff or elaborate stuff so, people notice you and then talk to you.
You know what? I call it insecurity. I like to get noticed. I like to walk around and... Well, from the looks of me, from the tats and everything. But I didn't get the tats to get noticed. I got those tats. This is as a link to my family. I've always wanted ink. And I got them when my father and my brother passed within a range of 6 months. Not too long after the first time I actually met you.
Okay.
You met my dad. You know, when we moved that piece of furniture that he just built and we wrecked it putting it in the car? Do you remember that? No, we put it in the back of his car, and it was just freshly made. He just built it, and we broke the entire bottom of it. We're not meant to be movers. That being said, the ink I got, it's got my brother's name and my father's name on my wrists and veins, obviously. So it's blood of the family running through the veins. I know it stands out. Nobody's got those fucking tats. I know I stand out. If you see sometimes I forget about it, but I went to the mall, was it a couple of days ago, and I took time, I can't stand out that much, but the looks that people give me, fucking freak.
Yeah.
And
but you
I'm not going to lie to you or to myself. I fucking like it.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking like it. Not the intimidation factor. I don't like to intimidate people. I like to get noticed, and I like to actually have them look at me and perceive me and look at me as being, oh, that guy's got to be a monster criminal. He's got to be a fucking dangerous man. And then I can just smile at them, and I break that mold of that fucking vision that they might have of me. I do gratuitous work with mentally challenged children. I've been doing this for 8 years. I am actually beyond the boys, beyond the dad, beyond the rings and everything. I'm actually a good person.
Well, and I'm not denying it. Because here's something, we don't have us as wrestlers, and I bet this, because you said you're known as, to the American audience, maybe Kevin's friend who swears a lot.
I think to the American audience, I am Kevin Owens' son's godfather.
Yeah.
And the crazy guy who spits at 6-year-olds at PWG, and the guy who cuts promos in CCW using a lot of F and C words. But looking back in the day, that thing worked. Right? But I can't even watch these fucking promos anymore because it was so easy in a way that it was just so gratuitous, and it was just vulgarity for the sake of vulgarity. And I really now that I've done movie work and whatnot, and TV work, I like to put a lot more depth and, thought into the characters and reasoning behind just... I'll curse. Obviously, that's just me. I curse. That's what I do for a living. And yeah, I'm a cursor. Yeah, and but yeah. So basically, I'm going to do that a lot. Start on something and get totally sidetracked. Yeah, people to the American audience know me as Kevin's buddy. I like to think that he thinks of me as his buddy. I love Kevin to death. We're like brothers. I am the godfather to his son. I don't obviously get to see him all that much because he's rather busy. Yeah. But we're still in contact to this day. I loved him to death.
Well, I was going to say he actually put us together to make sure that this happened. I was going to say, so as wrestlers, though,
yeah,
like I wonder if you hate yourself for not being 6'8". Because this goes back to the standing out thing, or the peacocking thing, is that we want to stand out as wrestlers. We understand what it is. And in wrestling, I don't know, now it's different, but back when we were probably growing up, we were told or breaking.
We had to be giants. We had to be superheroes. We had to be surreal. And now that I believe that I've reached that level, and I'm not saying this in a way that I'm, make myself look good or anything. And it's still my point of view when it comes to wrestling.
Right.
I will never change when it comes to that. I'm old school in that aspect. To me, when a wrestler crosses the curtain, people should go, holy fucking shit. Some guys won't get that. They will go like, okay, here's that guy. And then they'll win the audience with a magnificent match and crazy acrobatics and amazing wrestling. Fuck wrestling. And the wrestling part of it to me is not what counts. And I know a lot of the purists and Jim Cornette, whatever, fuck them, will probably not like me saying that. But to me, wrestling is not about wrestling. It's what I love about wrestling. I see myself as an actor more than I do as a wrestler, and it's the most interactive interpretation art form that there is. To me, it's about the emotion exchange that you have with the clients. I dare say clients. Yeah, I'm using this as a commercial way.
That's a first for me. I've never heard fans clients.
Well, to me, they're clients because they're paying hard-earned money, and we're selling them products, and what we're selling them is ourselves and emotions. We're selling first-degree emotion. It's basically people go to theater. They're not fans. They're clients. They're buying the products.
Theater goers. They're theater goers. Are these wrestling?
Yeah, but that's a fuck that word. It's too long to say, and it really doesn't roll off all that well in my mouth. To me, wrestling, wrestling's a business. And a business, you have a provider and a customer, a buyer.
When did you change this idea or did it change that, like you said?
It never changed. I still think that a wrestler should look like a superhero.
No, but I'm saying that wrestling isn't wrestling.
That's always been my point of view.
But since you went to wrestling,
fucking yeah! Since I was 16, 137 pounds, I started in it, and obviously I looked like a praying mantis who had HIV, and I was in his final phase because I was so fucking skinny. But to me, I was a Kevin Nash mark, and I still am to this day. I was a Sid Vicious mark, still am to this day. I love fucking Braun Strowman. I think he's fucking phenomenal. I love the giants. I love the bigger-than-life characters. I love the really huge man. The ones that weren't so big that could talk their way out of a TV show without even having to fucking punch someone. The Pipers, the Flairs. I had Roddy Piper after a show telling me, why the fuck aren't you on TV? To me, that in the business so far is the biggest compliment I was ever given.
That's nice.
So,
what'd you do with him?
We did Piper's Pit, actually, at a TOW show for Sylvain Grenier. And he refereed the match after. But we just did this interview segment, and it took forever for me to walk in. It was like a 20-minute interview segment. Roddy used to talk and talk, but that guy can talk. People are going to buy it. And then some local guys came in and talked, and it was shit. Kevin went in, talked. He did good, and after that it was me. I just basically verbally rampaged through the place. Yeah. And by the time we got back, I asked him if he had fun. I'm not going to say, what did you think of what I did, Mr. Piper? He said, did you have fun? He says, and he just put me over in a way that didn't think he had to or needed to or was going to. And that, like I say to this day, is the biggest compliment. I've had people, oh, what a great match. Going, thank you. I don't give a fuck if I give a good match. If people come out and go, that was an amazing fucking show, man. I see goosebumps on their back. It's not because of the wrestling moves that we pulled. It's because of the emotion that we provided.
Yeah, but some people aren't able to do it.
No.
With talking, they do it with wrestling moves.
Yeah, and they're boring.
You think so? You think Rey Mysterio in WCW was boring?
Rey Mysterio, no, he was not boring, but he was flashy as fuck, and he looked like a superhero that you can't deny.
Yeah.
There was this tiny little superhero, and I'm not saying he was boring, no, but he looked, the second you saw him through the curtain, he looked special.
Yeah.
Take Rey Mysterio wearing fucking baggy shorts without a mask, without all the flash and sizzle. People are going to go, what the fuck is this midget? Then he's going to start doing all the moves, and people are going to get into it and go like, oh. But they're not going to get emotionally involved with him because he doesn't have that special little thing, that special blitz that people go like, oh shit, superhero.
So at 5'9", 137 pounds at 16 years old, like how did you say to yourself, I have to turn myself into something that's crazy?
Because everybody that I was around and back then in Quebec, it's a while ago, I'm old as shit. I'm 38. Okay. Honesty, I mean, some people are older. I'm wrestling old.
Yeah, okay.
I would say I'm wrestling old. Given that I haven't done anything remotely relevant in this business, I'm old as shit.
Okay.
So when I started, I was 16. In Quebec, it was mostly big ass guys, not bodybuilders, but really big guys, and all of them would tell me like, "Man, you got the talent, you got what it takes, but you need to be bigger." Because the second you go through that curtain, you lose charisma. You got it.
But you knew that, right?
I did. And at the beginning, when I was younger, I was pretty arrogant about it.
You were pretty what?
Arrogant about it, and I'm like, I'm fucking good. Fuck you, you fatties. I can go better. I can go faster than you. I can work better. I can talk better than you. But then I watched those old matches, and I want to vomit because I had no sense of psychology whatsoever. But I could go. Not to this day, that intensity I think I still bring, but I've learned from these old fucking fatties, and I've learned from watching more of it and understanding more of it. But to me, I still want to be that guy that's the superhero that looks special, that looks crazy. I changed the character completely from what I used to be recently. Because I work mostly in Quebec and Ontario, I was this really intense, crazy baby face, Franky the Mobster. And I turned in Quebec City, and I wanted to be something completely different than what I had. So I no longer talk. And with the same intensity, without a sound, really more introverted, really more like Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men. That was an inspiration. Or the way Mads Mikkelsen played Hannibal Lecter in the TV series. I want to be one of these psychotic guys that scares the shit out of you. And the reaction, I've been going to change the music. I changed the look. I have this big-ass helmet that I got. I invested a lot of money in that. I'm saying what?
Skull fingers?
I don't wear that to the ring. I have claws now. I don't know if you saw pictures, but I have like Wolverine claws. Full, legitimately like claws I can claw at people with and I can kill them.
You're spending a lot of money on this, but you want to have that for just real life, though.
What do you mean?
Like, you would love just knowing that you have these claws and a helmet at home that you could just wear outside if anyone fucks with you.
I did.
Yeah.
I did wear them walking my dog. I did. That was hilarious because I have a Pomeranian who's about 6 pounds, and it's a female, so I have a pink leash. So I'm walking around with my big-ass helmet, and the horns are about 1.5 feet. People really didn't seem to understand why I was doing that. And nobody said anything.
I wouldn't understand why you do it. No one's going to say anything to you.
And I smiled through the mask because I can see they can't see my face. I'm having the time of my fucking life. Yeah. But then I went home because I thought, one of them calls the cops. I'm going to look like a fucking crazy person. I might get... Funny side of it is I did work in an asylum for the criminally insane for quite a while. And I didn't want to wind up there. So
this was before selling cars.
Yeah.
The same job, no? Essentially the same job.
Selling cars and watching over crazy mental... Basically, I worked at Institut Philippe Pinel, which is the equivalent of... It's a French Arkham asylum. all the worst case of mentally sick psychopaths and murderers and killers and whatnot that are mentally not fit for trial or whatever, and such go there.
Now, you took a job as a car salesman, but you also took this. So, like, in saying that, I know you can just take any job. So,
No. You know what? I try to, for the past couple of years, I've been trying to make it on wrestling and movies along. Movie business.
But I'm
has been
saying,
good.
why are you taking this job with the criminally insane?
Is that fascination? Fascination.
Yeah.
And it is fascinating. It's not a job for anyone. It's not a job for anyone. I started there, for what it's worth, I'm not going to lie. I started there as a janitor because it was the way. It's a governmental job, and you got to get in. You got to have a contact. And
then you started doing the equations on the board?
I did, and Matt Damon came, and he was amazing. Matt's so nice. Because I wanted that I bounced for so many years, and I had no more patience for that because I couldn't deal with imbeciles and fucking idiots and drunk ass and stone ass fucking dumbasses anymore. But you go there and people are a billion times more dangerous. But they're sick. They have a reason to be fucking dangerous. It's not like it's a game they want to play. They just don't have control over
And what,
it.
you wanted to be around them?
I loved being around them.
For what reason?
Like I told you, the fascination of the degrees or the limits that the human mind can reach is fascinating. And it's so stimulating to me as an actor or even as a wrestler. I got so much inspiration from watching these people go. So many ideas. I know that's probably not what one should say about working in an institution, but I was fascinated with, and I had, maybe it's from being a little sick myself, but I had a great connection with all the patients there. Well, there's a few that are maybe not. I had so many stories I could tell you about this place, but I don't think we have all the time. The funniest one would be, one of them is like a severe murderer. I think he's killed like 6 or 7 children, but he's like mentally 6 years old, so he's not dangerous at all, given the position he's in. And he's super friendly. And every time I pass, he says, hey, Mark, how you doing, Mark? How you doing? And that's back when I was a janitor. So I pass by his cell, I say hello. On the way back from cleaning another room, he says, hey, Mark. I turn around just in time to see him throw something at me. So I sidestep ever so slightly to see jizz pass right in front of my fucking eyes, and it hit the wall right there. And I look back at him. He's got the biggest, friendliest, happiest smile on his face. To him, that wasn't even an insult. To him, that was a gift. Yeah. Like, that's a part of me, motherfucker. And he threw this. Just mind you, maybe if he'd hit me in the face, I would have had a different reaction. Yeah. But and the worst part, not the worst. The best part is that you can even get mad. To him, that was the most logical thing to do after coming. When he sees somebody that he appreciates, he goes, oh, I just came, I'm going to throw my cum at him. And this was like some of them everyday occurrences over there. And that's what I'm telling you. It's fascinating, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I've had shit thrown at me.
You said you also, because of your mental issues, you can relate.
I have borderline personality disorders.
When was that diagnosed?
It's being bipolar without being on medication, basically.
Undiagnosed or diagnosed?
I am diagnosed. Yeah. I am diagnosed. Bipolar, not bipolar, sorry. It's borderline personality trouble disorder, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's more or less like being bipolar. You really have some strong highs, but the second something goes wrong, you sink.
Has this been a problem in wrestling at all or anything?
Yeah. Because in wrestling, I'm guy that gets really hopeful, and if there's a business, you don't want to get your hopes up in. It's really this shit, and so it's destroyed me so many times.
So you go to WWE and get a tryout, and they don't ask you back, and then you're just like,
I did that 3 times.
Right.
I really have no aspirations to go back. But you know what? I want to touch that subject. I set my hopes up, and my failure and the fact that I set my hopes up and I'm disappointed and I'm frustrated and I feel like I'm a victim, I'm the only one to fucking blame for that. Anybody that has a talent, potential, assets, requirements to be a star, goes there, shows them what they got, and doesn't make it, can only blame himself because he fucked up at one point. I'm not the one. I'm not going to play the blame game. I'm going to say, oh, I didn't make it because this guy didn't like me. I didn't make it because this guy didn't like me. I know what I'm worth. And at one point, I believe, had I done the proper things, made the proper efforts and proper sacrifices, I would have had a job.
Well, what
I didn't sacrifice enough, and I did not make the right decisions. And I'm not really a kiss ass.
Yeah.
And that goes with the business, I think. I will show you what I got, everything I got. I'll give you everything I got. And that's it, but I'm not going to fucking go, so what do you think? What do you think? Was that okay? Was that okay?
Is that what you're saying that you didn't do?
I didn't do that. I didn't follow up with the... I didn't follow up after I had the tryouts. Last time I went, I had 3. One in Ottawa in 2006, and it was a bullshit group tryout. That's way before the Performance Center, so it wasn't as well structured. I'm thinking that nature. It was run before house shows, so you know the boys running this don't give a fuck, and they'd rather be at the hotel or eating or whatever. And first one we did was just a group of us, and it's drills and fucking drills and drills. And to me, that is fucking horse shit. You know what? And they do the same for all those tryouts. You got guys like Roderick fucking Strong, who's a proven commodity in this fucking business, having to try out. Really?
Yeah, it's their thing.
He's running fucking, he's headlining Ring of Honor pay-per-views, and you got Roderick Strong fucking trying. Adam Cole's gonna fuck, I don't know if he did. Adam Cole's gonna fucking try out. Chris Heroes has to, what the fuck? These guys are working fucking 4 days a week all over the fucking world. If you go to them and ask them to come over, you fucking know what they're worth.
Yeah.
The entire trial, somebody who hasn't made a fucking penny in this business, who hasn't headlined a fucking show anywhere in the world, wants to go there and try out. I understand that.
Right.
You don't fucking know them. You can't judge from a tape. To me, this is a business where you got to make fucking money. All these names and so many fucking more have made money in this business. They have made money for the companies that they work with. They've made money for themselves. Why do they need to do fucking jumping jacks and fucking Hindu squats in order to get a fucking job?
It's about, you want to see their mentality if you're going to hire somebody, if you want to see that they bitch about it or they cry about it. But I mean, you know, you hope that like you do that in a different way. It's not about breaking them physically, right?
But it's about showing. I guess it's about you having to show them the will to fucking make it. If you've been wrestling for fucking 15 years, four times a fucking day, your body's fucking beat up. You got fucking injuries that tear you down, prevent you from walking properly, from playing with your fucking children, bending over, being able to just pick them up, or playing fucking catch because your arm's fucking dislocated. I think you've fucking proven yourself. You don't do that by doing fucking Hindu squats.
Right. You prove yourself to yourself, though, and to the... I'm just playing devil's advocate.
You know, mate, it's going to come off as being fucking arrogant, but I don't want it to be. I don't have to prove myself to myself.
But you know in your heart, you know, like you said, what you're worth, what your value is. You know that you're worth a lot. But this...
I'm not saying I'm worth a lot. I'm not going to say that because that comes off as being arrogant.
Roger Strong. So Roger Strong knows that he's worth whatever he's worth. But this company wants to hire him so they can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. You know, if it was a different company, you know, maybe Impact wouldn't put him through those vigorous things. And maybe they
he's been in it. He's been on Impact, hasn't he?
Years ago. Him and A-Star Double.
Right?
Yeah. So, but I mean, I agree with you. It's a blow to anyone's ego when you travel around the world and you headline shows and then you have to go and you have to do jumping jacks for an hour. But it's also a test of, let's see how big his ego is, because our company is egomaniac censure, you know. And
I fully understand that. But give me, if you know what I'm worth, my take on, I'm not trying to change the business. I'm in no position to fucking, my opinion doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it anyway. If you know that the guy's worth money, he's made money, Sign him up. Have him work fucking matches. Have him fucking work with your fucking kids. That he's going to make you money that way. He's not going to make you fucking money doing drills. You know the guy can make you money. Don't drill him. And you know that if he's there at your fucking performance center and you brought him there, you know what he's worth. You brought him here.
Yeah.
Why do you have to fucking... Does he have to prove himself to you? There's no fucking reason. He's there. You know what he's fucking worth.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I like seeing you get riled up.
I'm going to lose my shit.
You were getting so riled up just making sure that we had a room to do this podcast.
Oh, yeah, fuck that. That would have been a problem.
I could have. Has your tell me about your temper getting a hold of your or getting?
I'm actually mellowed a lot.
Okay.
I've really mellowed a lot.
But in the past, in wrestling,
I know. You know, it's one of these things in wrestling where everybody's went from, it goes from mouth to mouth to mouth and whatever, and goes around. And people have pictured me, or actually have come up with the thing that they think that I'm an actual fucking crazy person, that I'm super aggressive and violent. I have my moments. I have zero tolerance for bullies, zero tolerance for people that try to attack or do any harm, whether it be physical or verbal, to my friends, people I love. I'm very protective of my friends, even if my friends can totally defend themselves. Anyone that shared a locker room with you, I hope, would tell you that I'm probably one of the friendliest guys in the back.
Of course, yeah.
I go over and I'll go to everybody. I'll give hugs to everyone, even fucking people I don't know. If I see someone that smells like shit, I'll still hug him. I'll complain about it later. But I do have a temper. Yeah, for multiple reasons I have a temper. I mean, even though, like I said earlier, you don't blame yourself for... the only one to blame, is yourself if you don't make it. Well, that blame I put on myself. But I'm disappointed in the way that career has turned out. I'm not where I want to be.
The way it started out?
It ended up. Because it's on its last leg.
Okay.
It's on its last leg.
But you gave it a go.
I did. It's been 22 years.
When you said the last couple of years you've been trying to make it on acting and wrestling.
Well, I was trying to fucking give it one last run, and obviously I can't make it to WWE right now. I have somebody in a pretty good position that would probably help me a lot, given, and he's mentioned it, but I don't feel well if I was to be tested.
Okay.
And to me, that's a crock of shit.
Yeah.
That is the biggest crock of shit in wrestling right now.
Your wellness?
The entire wellness thing.
You're a violator?
I'm a violator. I violate. Fuck do I violate. But no, the entire bullshit system of it, trying to fucking get us to believe that there's no steroids in wrestling. I'm all about putting my head in the sand if I have to, but there's so many guys on TV that are on fucking crank, that are on fucking juice. And it's so dead fucking obvious.
Well, and this, not the symbol, but what would the word be? The symptoms, whatever it is, the results.
Yeah.
From being in that culture for a long
time. Yeah. And I don't want to put names out because I don't want to be like I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to bury people. But you've got some guys on TV right now that are obvious steroid users. And it's okay. I don't want to come off as a guy who say, come on, kids, go ahead, do steroids. I'm not saying this because I don't think that the common man should use that. We are in a physical and aesthetical business. Our bodies get fucked up. And it's an aesthetical fucking business. It's changed a lot, mind you, while people look athletic and whatnot. That's the old school aspect to me that I want the fucking wrestler to look like a superhero. Brock Lesnar looks like a superhero. Braun Strowman looks like a superhero. They're humongous men.
Sami Zayn?
He looks like some kind of awkward back ass. Weird. I love him. Superhero. I love fucking Sammy. I fucking love him to death. He thinks I'm the devil, but he would legitimately think that. That's back when my character was a little meaner. This one incident. I'll throw myself on the like in front of the train right now. I don't know what the fuck's the expression is. We were in Toronto for SummerSlam many years back, and there was this homeless person. I'm really, really generous with homeless people who've had misfortunes and are trying to just pull through. They want to eat. I'll be the first one to give them money. But if I have a homeless person that's just standing there, down on himself with a sign that says, "Want a fucking drink? Help me out." That's a dude that had that sign. "I need a drink. Help me out." Yeah. I have no respect for that. I know your life's been to shits. Kick yourself in the fucking ass and help yourself. My life's been to shit. I've had so many fucking problems in my life, I can't even count them anymore. Don't I sound positive? You can tell me it's a facade and deep inside you're broken down. Man, I'm a broken down fucking miserable piece of shit. But in everyday life, I don't need to affect people with it. But this guy's blatantly telling you, I'm a loser. I'm not going to fucking make any efforts for myself. I'm going to fucking live off people's generosity to be a miserable fuck for the rest of my days. I have no patience or tolerance. So as I'm passing by him, Sammy, being the gentle guy, you know how nice he is and whatnot, is going through his pockets. He says, "Franky, are you going to help this man?" So I looked at the man, I looked at his little fucking dirty ass hat, and I'm like, "Yeah, help yourself, fucker." And I spat in his hat.
Jesus.
And that stopped Sammy dead in his tracks. And he looked at me with eyes as fucking big as saucers. He's like, and he didn't say a word. I'm like, fucking worthless hobo. And then I walked off. Too many people that might be a little harsh. And looking back, it was a little harsh. But at that moment, it felt right. And that hobo's reaction, well, was non-existent because he was too drunk. But I like to think that when he puts his hat back on afterwards, collects his change and feels my saliva all over his fucking head, he says, "Well, I think somebody spat on me today. I need to make an effort." Maybe he's made an effort. He's probably dead right now, liver cancer.
That was your way. Well, maybe that guy throwing jizz at your face was the way of changing your life.
Yeah, right now. So right now I'm really protective of my jizz as well. I like to offer it to people. I'm gonna keep it in the jar, and then we're like,
maybe that wasn't the sign that I was hoping that you would give. Hey, you said you've battled a lot to be able to overcome, obviously, and I think that's the story, is that you've overcome. I mean, you just said like shit's gone down.
There's so much stuff, some that I can't talk about.
Yeah, but adversity in your life. I mean,
adversity in my life. But then again, once again, it comes down to situations are being presented to you. You face them with everything you got, or you half-ass the way that you deal with them and then blame others. Every misfortune I have in my life, I will look at myself now. I will look at myself down the mirror, and I can acknowledge that it's my fucking fault if it didn't go right. Women.
Yeah. You got a kid or anything?
I don't have a kid. And you should see me with kids. I'm the best
I'd imagine.
possible fucking dad that a kid could have. All my friends, when they have parties, I'm the nanny. And they sit me at the kids' table, and they talk. I love kids. My order of love towards living species is animals, kids, plants, regular beings.
I like how you looked at me when you said regular beings.
No, I'm not sure. I put you in the kids category.
But you said very early in this, you said you've taken so many pills that some things don't work. Does it not work down there anymore? Can't have any kids?
I got to get tested again, because last time I did, it didn't work. And that was a major fucking blow to my life. But then again, who's responsible for that? Me and me alone.
Yeah.
And I was with a woman. I was engaged to a girl back in that time. And when that test result came in, it destroyed me. She had a kid, which I'd taken as my own. But mind you, that fucking bitch.
Which goes on the case of women, huh?
No. Most of the girls that I've had relationships and fucked up with, I'm the asshole. I'm a total fucking asshole. But I never mean to be. That's the word. And most of the girls that I've had relationships with and I fucked up thoroughly will always acknowledge that. Says, "You're an amazing fucking guy. You're a great guy. You're a great man. You're so generous." but you're the worst boyfriend anyone could have, or you're the worst man to be engaged to be in a relationship with, because I've got so many fucking insecurities and my mental illness. That, again, is excuses that I could try to come up with. I, to this day now, presently, if I talk to a girl, I'll tell her, like, we can hang out, we can have fun and whatnot. And you see, I'm a fun person. And I think you're a great person too. Don't get attached. Because I'm going to fucking break your heart. Even if I don't mean to.
Yeah.
And that's been a major hustle in my life. And the worst part is, like, I don't mean to be an asshole. And I've had women that I've loved so much. I don't think you've had somebody in your podcast looking at me talking about loving but the love word's a very strong word, I guess. But there's so many, it's not so many, but there's a few women that I have loved that I really saw myself spending my entire life with, but it was always out of my fucking hands, so to speak, where I fucked it up. And I saw other women. I always blow it up. And now I've realized that there's been a lot of shit recently. Legal issues.
Okay.
Let's keep it at that.
Sure.
My injury, I tore my bicep 5 months ago. And that put a lot of things in perspective because I didn't have insurance. I had no money coming in for 3 months. I had no acting gig. And that just made me realize, like I said, I could be a miserable fuck. I had my moments where I sat at home in self-pity. And I don't drink, mind you, I don't drink or booze out, or I haven't had a drop of booze in 6 years because I'm a terrible drinker. That's where you would have heard most of the stories from.
I'd imagine, yeah.
When I drank, I was raving, lunatic, madman, beyond control. Everybody that knows me will tell you, like, I asked Mark to get a drink once, and I never asked him again. And my older brother committed suicide because he was bipolar, and he was an alcoholic and a druggie, for lack of a better word.
So 6 years ago, that was maybe a wake-up?
That, and my younger brother, who's now 4 years sober, spent a lot of fucking money. We had a lot of money when my father passed. I spent it being generous to people, overly generous to people who probably deserve me to be generous with them. But that's not true. I helped out friends that to this day are thankful and help me back. And I never help anyone in order to get help back, but my brother spent all that money on destroying himself. And now he's 4 years clean. He owns a restaurant. My brother's a chef. So next time you're in town for more than 20 minutes, we can go and you're going to have a home good meal. I can assure you that.
So you wasted through all that dad money?
Say again?
You wasted through all that dad money?
I went right through it.
Okay.
And I went through $350,000 in 4 years.
What? Like
Dinners and suppers and gifts and shirts and women.
That's incredible.
That is fucking horrible.
I mean, in an awful way, yeah.
I never had fucking a penny to my name. Never had a penny to my name. I was living day by day, paycheck by paycheck, and you get this shitload of money in your fucking
What
account.
a gift that is.
And yeah, but as much as a gift as much as a gift as today, I'd rather have my dad.
Of course,
around,
sorry,
right?
that was the awful thing. But the idea of like,
yeah, no, I fully understand what you mean. Now I understand what you meant. And you get all that fucking stack of money, and your head's a fucking mess because your brother committed suicide 6 months ago. Your father just passes. And now I got to take care of my grandmother who's senile and who's dying as well. I got to go see her every day because my dad used to do that. I spent a lot of money on booze during that time. That's when the time I would drink 40 ounces of scotch every day in my basement watching a movie. As I became a boozer, full-fledged alcoholic, not because I needed to drink. I never had that need to drink. I never did. The thing is, if I have one drop of booze, I'm an endless, pit. There's no bottom to fill it. If I have one drop, I'm gone, and it flows. and then I lose complete control of myself.
But you got yourself sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week was my friend's wedding. A very dear friend of mine, James Stone, he's a very good worker.
James Stone, yeah.
And one guy made the mistake. It's funny, I said I haven't had a drink in 6 years because last week I did. And I controlled myself. I drank a lot of shit. But one guy says, let's have a fucking shooter. I'm like, I don't drink, I'm sorry. Come on, just one. I'm like, let's do it. So he's trying to have that fruity shit. I'm like, I'm not into fruity shit. So I ordered grappa, which is, you don't know what grappa is?
I don't know anything about
Italian, like strong shit. It's like 60%, 60, 70% alcohol.
Sounds safe.
It's like absinthe.
Okay.
Absinthe. It's basically more kind of same kind of shit. And it burns your insides.
Yeah.
So I had a shot of this. He's like, man, it's fucking 4:00. He's like, hey, you want to booze out? We're boozing out. And I just went loose. I had 7 of those. I had 2 bottles of wines. I had 7 scotches and 5 glasses of champagne. But I was still standing and dancing. And I did not do a single solitary bad thing to anyone. So I'm really proud of myself. And I drove home.
Well, you should be proud of that.
I'm really proud of that because
You shouldn't be proud of that.
No, I'm not proud of it. But I was okay to drive.
Come on.
Mom, and I know myself. I know my
I can't
limits.
condone that on here.
Well, okay, what the fuck else are you going to condone then?
Condone all of your other actions. Okay,
I made it home. Nobody died. So to me,
That's
that
important.
tells me I was okay to do. I was okay to go.
Listen, I want to touch one thing before we go.
Okay.
Is you getting into wrestling?
Yeah.
At 16 years old.
Yeah.
And so from this interview, we've seen.
That I'm a fucking mess.
We can get into your head. Super interesting. Yeah. And so I kind of want to say did wrestling mold your way? Like, did you? Because you'll hear these kids like getting in it very young and then attaching themselves to older personalities. And you said, like when you got in, there's a lot of older guys. And I guess I'm kind of interested, like, if wrestling molded the way that you are today, or if that's who you were in your lifestyle or your home.
No, I've lost so many friends and so many real people in my life. And then I'm the only one responsible for that because I pulled a Bret. I pulled a Bret Hart. I became Franky the Mobster in everyday life. Exuberant.
At 16 years old. Because 16 is a young age, but I also feel that maybe you were an older 16.
No, I was a fucking geek-ass nerd.
Yeah?
I was a geek-ass nerd at school. I got along, mind you, I was a social person. I got along with everybody and whatnot. But I was a geek. And then I got that. And then I started doing drama at school, studied drama. And that got me that thing where like, oh man, I gotta get people's attention and I'm fucking good at it. And that's fun. And you know what? It's not only about getting people's attention, it's about making them happy. This is what drives my life. So you might say you're craving for attention, but if I'm having a fucking match and one of the boys comes over and goes, this is the best match I've ever seen, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. No offense to the boys and whatnot. If a kid comes over smiling, looking at me with that big smile, oh, you're amazing. That's my payday.
But when you're 16, you right away, the first day of training, you knew that you were the man?
No, fuck, I was shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like that.
I was shit. I was awful. I'm really not a natural athlete. I'm about as flexible as a fucking baseball bat. And I was skinny as a fucking run. It took me forever.
But tell me about the wrestling world molding who you are. Does this make sense? Like, were you...
The second I started going... Quebec is a dead fucking zone for wrestling. It's a dead zone. But you start to believe your own hype because you're doing those little shit shows and you don't know anything else. So I'm like, I'm fucking good at it. And then I got offers to fucking go to Ontario. And then it spread out. And going to Ontario, this young ass fucking skinny kid. Then I went to the Maritimes. I had Brody Steele and Mike Hughes. And they're all telling me, because that guy's fucking good. He's a skinny ass fuck, but he's fucking good. And then they're like, this is my life. This is my life. That's what I do. I'm this guy that goes around from town to town, drifting around, entertaining people because he's good at it. And that sets your mind to just sticking. Why would I want to be little old fucking Mark? That's why I talk with my therapist all the time. Why would I want to be boring old Mark sitting at home watching a movie when that fucking guy walks in the street and people
With the helmet on.
look at them? Well, not necessarily with that, not on an everyday basis, but just in regular life. If I, like I told you when I went to the mall, people see this, and I'm pointing at myself right now for those of you listening, and they go like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm intriguing, and I catch their attention, and that is so unhealthy because that's all you care for. That's all I care for. And I'm working really fucking hard on that with my therapist to find Mark. You know, my therapist made a fucking image for me. To me, you know what you are? I saw that picture she says, I saw that picture where this little kitten looks in the mirrors and sees a big ass lion. Well, to me, you're the opposite. You're this big ass lion that looks in the mirror and sees a scared little kitten. So basically, Mark, behind Franky, behind all the names you want to call me, is still that scared little kitten that hides away behind this persona. And I think always will till the day that I finish this business.
Is acting better or worse?
It's the same shit.
Same shit.
It's the same shit. It's, mind you don't keep that character for long.
Right. We're this for life.
Yeah, right. So, but a lot of, I shot a scene for a French TV show. A very hard fucking scene. I can't go into details because it's one of the biggest shows in Quebec. I was lucky enough to get a part in it. And it's the hardest shit I've ever done in my life, man. It's a very violent and just nasty ass scene. And
emotionally or physically?
Both.
Okay.
Both. It's not a fight scene.
Gotcha.
It's just dirty, and the words, the everything, the exchanges, the energy of it all. It's just it's a calm scene till the very end, but the vibe of the scene is so fucking dark and heavy that and like I told you, there's nothing remotely very physical about it, but I finished that day and I was spent because little Mark just would never do this shit. And it was out of my comfort zone. I wasn't Franky out there. This whole new character that I have to explore for one day was the nastiest motherfucker you could ever portray. Nasty. And you like nasty ass people in movies and whatnot. Nobody's gonna like this character. I didn't like him. You're not supposed to judge a character before you play it. And everything that he does is justifiable to this character's in this character's head. And I tried to play it that way, but he's disgusting. And that was different in the aspect. The second I left set, I totally fucking unwind. And I'm like, oh, okay, God, I got to get off this. So as in wrestling, Franky, like, okay, I finished. I'm like, okay, let's go home. But we still go to the restaurant. People fucking look at me, and I'll still look at him when I'm being Franky. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I got this voice. I got this raspy voice. I can mellow it down and talk normally a bit. Right?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
But Franky speaks like that.
Well, Franky, I appreciate you being on, buddy.
Anytime.
Do you social media?
Yeah. Well, mind you, not that much. I'm on Twitter. I ought to get to try a little more. Franky TM. I'm on Instagram. I think it's my real name. I don't even fucking remember. Marc-André Boulanger. Marc-André Boulanger. Google Franky, you'll find me. And I'm on Facebook. My account is fucking full. I don't want any other fucking nerds speaking of my personal shit. But so you can go to Twitter, Franky TM, and I will try to post more shit, more ridiculous pictures of my boring self. And I'll try to get some pictures of me with Kevin's son to make myself relevant on Twitter.
Did Jim Ross teach you English?
Jim Ross?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's how Kevin learned English.
No, I went, we have a program in elementary school. That's where all of us Frenchies do half the year in English and half the year in French. That's why I got the basis for it. From then on, I only watched English TV. And I did a lot of jobs where I was on the phone. And your English has to be good. Yeah. You can't be talking with the accent like that. You know, when you hello, you've called the conference call center. Can I help you? You know, like Sylvain Grenier, basically. Yeah. I love Sylvain, but his English is shit. So this is where I learn my English. Okay. Movies. I'm more of a movie buff than I'm a wrestling buff. Yeah. Okay, ask me anything about movies, and most likely than not, I'll be able to answer you.
But most importantly, you're buff.
And I'm almost not on the stuff.
You're almost. We're weaning you off.
Okay.
All right.
Take it easy, everyone.
All right, Franky the Mobster. That was done at a C4 show in Ottawa, Canada, which was so much fun to do. The podcast with Franky and the show C4. Look forward to going back there. Last time I was there was 6 years ago. I mean, I was just there, but before 6 years ago, so hopefully it's not that long, and I hope to be back. But for now, I'm about to go on a crazy road trip with the Ring of Honor, so let's get out of here and get into some plugs and
upcoming events.
All right, the best way to support ColtMerch.com, digitalcolt.com, Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana, Facebook /AOW podcast, also /Colt Cabana. My storytelling podcast, Pro Wrestling Fringe, which there are 3 brand new episodes up. Also, there's past archives of the show, and they're ad-free. Sign up at StitcherPremium.com/Colt. Use the code COLT, get a free month. ColtWrestling@gmail.com is my very public email. Maybe a promoter want to put me on your upcoming show or convention. I got a YouTube channel, also a website, ColtCabana.com. I got a P.O. box. You can send me something. Fred Esposito, he wrote a book called I'm a Mark. His life as a wrestling fan. I think it's on Amazon. Grab it if you want. Troy, he sent me some Don West baseball cards, which I cherish. All right, upcoming October 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 20th, November 11th, 12th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Chicago, Philadelphia, Fort Lauderdale, Lakeland, San Antonio, Dallas, and Oklahoma City. ROHWrestling.com. I will be doing commentary on those. Saturday, October 21st, Tulsa, Oklahoma, CompoundWrestling.com. October 25th, 26th, and 27th, Los Angeles and Riverside, California, LuchaVavoom.com. October 28th and 29th, Gainesville, Florida. Saturday, I'm doing a live podcast. Sunday, I'm doing the wrestling. This is all at Fest. It's free if you got a pass. thefestfl.com, or you can walk up and buy some tickets. November 3rd and 4th, Berwyn and LaSalle, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. Friday, November 10th, San Francisco, California, cowpalace.com. That's for APW. Friday, November 24th, Cleveland, Ohio, AIWrestling.com. Saturday, November 25th, Chicago, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. Friday and Saturday, December 8th and 9th, Brooklyn, New York, and Rahway, New Jersey, WrestleProOnline.com. That is the show for this week. Huge thank you to you guys at home. I always appreciate it. Thanks for telling your friends. Also, thanks to Franky the Mobster for coming on and being the mobster that he is. Cable Guy Jeff and Stu Stone, Kid Russell and Matt Jenkins on the music, Dane Miller and Creaky with tech. HighSpots.com are a sponsor. They have a VOD service that's amazing. Watch PWGs, watch $5 Wrestling, watch The Kevin Steen Show. They also got AMA knee pads, gear, mask, a wrestling ring. OneHourTees.com, they help run pro wrestling. Crate.com, they help run pro wrestling. Tees.com, which is now a website and a store in Chicago, Illinois. And tweakedaudio.com/Colt. The earbuds that I use get over 30% off of free shipping just because you listen to this show. Oh, and there's also the live show. Marty and I are doing Unprofessional Wrestling the night before Thanksgiving at North Bar. That's Wednesday night at the North Bar in Chicago. Come celebrate Thanksgiving. Have a good time with us. Make some like-minded wrestling friends. Are you here to visit your family? What else are you going to do? You going to go to the club? Get the fuck out of here. Come watch wrestling with us. Always a good time. All right. This has been The Art of Wrestling for Colt Cabana. I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks. Look at your levels.
No, we're not going to be at the same level with the voices.
Well, that's why. Are you low or high?
Pretty low.
Yeah, but then you can get really high. You might.